This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome, everybody. It's Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Copeland. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in a minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody, welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey,
what's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody, welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
Hey, here we are.
What's up?
Wednesday. What's going on, Alec? So we got Alec, we got John here. It is New Comic Book Day. Marcus is already in the house. What's going on, brother? So things settling down there. You had the big closing on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So they did manage to close. Only lost one kidney. Nice job. Although they made them wait up for 45 minutes because they couldn't get approval from the mortgage company. Nobody was answering the phone to confirm they were releasing the funds. Triple B, what's up, bud?
Marcus, all these people are here already. Man, I wish we had something fun to talk about. We used it all up on Monday. No.
So Alec has all moved in. We're talking about moving forward. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
We talked a little bit about it Monday, and I mentioned it to Alec on his show yesterday. We're moving forward with the pub broadcast.
Pubcast.
The pubcast. And now we're just waiting on John to set it up.
As soon as Nick's check clears.
But we're looking forward to that. And then
that might be somewhere in the low to mid three figures. I don't know if he's got that kind of.
Can we get a John Cole discount?
Considering what we pay.
All right. So the pub broadcast is just going to be in the parking lot with a case of beer and a cooler.
No, I didn't actually go down there. Last time I was there, I wound up buying like a case and a half of beer. We talked for like an hour, and then I haven't been down there since.
I got to tell you, I love the whole concept of microbrews and the way that it kind of popped up over the last several years. And I got to be honest, I've been to a few where the beer was, I'm not.
It's like anything else, man. Like nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to suck. No matter what they're doing, right? Like nobody says, I'm setting out to fail. But not everybody gets to where they want to go every time. It's the same in the food industry. It's the same in comics.
Well, what I like,
honest, a guy sits down at his board, or someone sits down at their laptop and they start banging away, right?
Right. And
sometimes you get amazing stuff. And then all of a sudden, somehow you wind up with like that Black Cross thing from Project Superpowers. Right. That was like a nightmare. So, you know what I mean? You kind of want to...
All right, so hold on. So Stevie B celebrating the show like Lars Man tonight with a Jim Beam and a ginger highball, mainly because I finished my 6-hour online defensive driving course. And Stevie B, you're a Jets fan. So it's always a good time to hit that Jim Beam, baby.
I gotta kind of wonder if the Jim Beam is the reason you had to take the driving course. Is that cause and effect?
I don't know. All right, so we're going to start the show off the way we always start the show off, with the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. 10 random Dynamite titles, a cover price of $3.99 or higher, so a suggested retail of $40 or higher, And as always, we have it for $5. So 50 cents a comic. The idea behind this is, number one, and thank you to our fans, making comics available at 50 cents a copy. But also, if you haven't picked up Dynamite titles, biggest fan right here to the right of me, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of start reading some Dynamite titles, and at a price that, if you hate them all, which I don't think you will, you won't feel too bad about
we've talked about this before. It's like a great chance to see some things get missed or whatever. People discover stuff all the time later.
Yeah,
one of the things that you love about I moderate some like chats on social media or whatever, and one of the things that's great is someone will ask, "What's your Avi? What's this? What's that?" We had one a few weeks ago about Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt,
right?
And I had to kind of go through the whole Peter Cannon thing, and I was like, yeah, this is like a really cool character. I'm like, just so you know, this is where Alan Moore got Ozymandias from. I said, you know what I mean? It's a whole, and people didn't know what I was talking about.
Right.
And then this week, somebody shot me a DM that they grabbed some Peter Cannon stuff at their LCS, and they were like, man, this is more Ozymandias than Ozymandias. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the point.
So, we got New Comic Book Day, which we'll cover. John, I'm sure, will talk a little bit about that, and so will Alec. I know that we ran out of time yesterday. Whenever I'm on Alec's show, we get caught down a road, and then the next thing you know, 40 minutes.
40 minutes is gone.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny how we do that. All right, so let me throw a best offer book out there first. So we have Despicable Deadpool, number 287, blank variant, signed by Deadpool co-creator Fabian Nicieza, with a colored Deadpool sketch by Ken Hazer. Nice. Suggested retail of $119.91. So it's a little different than our normal CCAs because it also has Fabian Nicieza, creator of Deadpool, on there as well. So it's going to be our best offer book starting at $50 for the evening. And Dave Cerrone.
Would you like me to go and get the co-creator of Deadpool so he can come in and tell us how he arrived at the creation of this character?
Well, he could call the co-creator. Oh, did I say Mariana?
Yeah.
Fabian Nicieza. My bad. Boy, getting old sucks. So
Dave is right. Dave Cerrone is right. If you get this Dynamite 10-pack and there's no Green Hornet, send it back to the attention of Rex. Dynamite.
If you buy the 10-pack and you would like a Green Hornet title, you are free to email me as long as your name is not John Cole. Because if your name is John Cole, your email will immediately go to a junk folder that I had IT create for me. Ryan,
I'll tell you what's a very good book. Green Hornet fan, but I'll tell you what's a super good book to ask for: the Kato standalone series. That Kato standalone series is so good. And I love Green Hornet, don't get me wrong. A lot of the stuff is good. Some of it, the editor should have probably called me before you published. But for the most part, that Kato stuff is just, man, that's really well done.
So Ryan White says, come on, Rex, what is this, amateur hour? Every show we do is amateur hour, my friend. You must realize that.
My check didn't clear from Nick, so this is amateur hour.
That's why we have Alec on the show, to bring some legitimacy to our show.
Right?
So, all right. So let's.
Someone asked this question. Alex, you want to take this? Alex, you want to take this? I don't know.
All right. So I'm going to try to get the best offer books right out of the way. Give everybody enough time. And, of course, we'll do multiple recaps because they pissed John off. So, all right. So the next one is Batman number 95, first printing, CGC, graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. That's going to be one of our best offer books, starting at $40. Let's see. Triple B, keep it at comics. There you go. All right. So we have that. That is a best offer book. So anybody who's new that's joining us, we have two types of offers on the show. Basically, put your offer in the chat room. And then Kyle, from time to time, will throw up a link. That is our submission form. Very important. That if your screen name does not match up with your real name, we're going to need that. And then the most important thing about submission form is your ship to address, so we know where to ship the comics. And then we have two types. So one is a buy it now. We'll throw up the price. First person to claim it in the chats will walk away with it. And then we have best offer of the night. And basically we'll throw a starting price out, and the person with the best offer at $7.55 will claim that book. And Kyle will let us know as we're approaching that, and he'll throw a timer up, and then we'll have an end line at $7.55, closing all best offer claims. All right, so we did the Batman, we got that up there. All right, so now the statue of the night. Women of Dynamite, 1/16 scale, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, J. Scott Campbell statue. Suggested retail of $189.99. Tonight we have it. Best offer starting at $40. So it is a best offer item. All right. So
nice. How does Rex keep getting Blake Clark on the show?
What's that?
How does Rex keep getting Blake Clark on the show?
All right. So Alec, we didn't get to cover all the new comic book day books. So what have you seen so far this week that you're liking or not liking, whichever the case may be?
Man, so I got my books this morning, like I always do on Wednesday, and I'll tell you what, I still feel like so scatterbrained, like just all over the place with everything going on. So I do the previous video talking about the upcoming books. We did the live stream yesterday talking about the upcoming books. I made a small little YouTube short about the books I'm looking forward to. I forgot 3 books that weren't on my poll list, and 2 of them, actually all 3 of them, are ones that I really was looking forward to this week. I was hyping up that Ghost Rider book so much, I literally forgot to grab it. Same with Dark Ages.
Right, we were talking about the Ghost Rider book yesterday.
I forgot to grab all 3 of them.
Statue, buddy. So
I couldn't believe it.
I
got home.
Jet lag.
I don't know. I'm all over the place
from
still.
Oklahoma.
I was going to say that's car lag, man. Didn't he drive?
Yeah, and it was a month ago.
Between like the house and still getting like all the other things situated, and then I guess at the shop, I literally just I go in, I get my books, and whatever's on the pull list, it's like, all right, cool. This looks all good.
Well, we were talking about we were talking a little bit about that on your show yesterday. It's I had read years ago that one of the top 5 most stressful things in life are actually closing on a house. And I think you know that. Oh, wait, Stevie B, holding my bids until you put up a 9.8 can of spam. Wait a minute, statue weakened me. All right, Stevie B, you're in for 50. Hey, John, I know you carry spam in your car. Can you just go out and get us a can of spam?
There was a time where I actually had spam in the console of my truck.
I can't wait to hear that story. I can't wait to hear that story. Police officer searches your car. Sir, why do you have 52 cans of spam in your trunk? In case I get stuck on I-95 during a snowstorm. Oh, man. All right. So let's see. So you didn't pull Ghost Rider. So you're not sure how it was. There was a lot of hype. I do remember us talking about, that there was probably a lot of copies printed, because there was so much hype about it before it came out.
Yeah. So when I just said before we went live, and I was like, when the dogs were barking, I was like, yeah, my dad just stopped by. So he actually picked those books up for me from the comic shop. I texted him earlier. So it kind of sucks. They're not going to be in tomorrow's top 10 list. But I talked about, I forgot them. I'm going to be getting them by the end of the week, but they're in the garage right now. They're waiting to be read. I don't know. I totally blanked when I got there today.
Isn't it nice to be home? When you're in Oklahoma, Dad couldn't just go and pick up what you forgot, right?
Yeah, especially in Oklahoma, the shop was 35 minutes away almost.
Yeah, that's like, I'm not going back. It's 35 minutes now.
That's how it was. But here, it's only like
the country that they'd be happy to have a store 35 minutes away.
Yeah, I guess
seriously,
that's true.
I hate to say it, but we talked about this before. Since 2001, half the stores in this country have closed.
Yeah,
roughly,
you have mentioned that.
Right? So there are a lot of people where, like we're fortunate, right? We live on the turnpike between New York and Philly, North Jersey. I bet you there's literally 50 comic book stores in a 1-hour radius drive from us. Atlantic City, Princeton, we have all kinds of options, right? I bet if you grab a spot on the map, maybe somebody lives in northern Texas, they're happy if they only have to drive 35 minutes.
I do understand. I understand that there are places in this country where ordering a pizza delivered is just out of the question. It just, the guy's going to end up burning more gas than the pizzas.
I have a buddy who lives in Nevada, and he does not live in like the Vegas and Reno part of Nevada.
Right.
He lives in the middle of, I don't want to say the middle of nowhere, but he drives into the capital city, Carson City. The one comic book store there closed during the pandemic. That was it. So now what he would do is he would wait and save up, and he would hit a store on vacation.
And just get everything.
And he would literally get like a long box worth of stuff and have it UPS back to his house.
Wow.
That was 2 years. Finally, he came up with, he goes out to California regularly. He found a store out there that'll do like a pull. They'll ship it to him, whole thing. But I mean, it was 2.5 years from when his very local store, still a half-hour drive, from when that store closed to when he made arrangements. He went to Disney World. He hit the comic book stores in Orlando. He went to Disney,
25% premium upgrade price. Probably.
He said he never realized how expensive a hobby this was when his store closed and he stopped getting the nice price, the pull list. You know what I mean? Literally, he's going in there and dropping $5 for a single comic book.
I mean, if you go to like the one you went to at Myrtle Beach, I mean, there's going to be a surcharge. It's a
Ron, and these people not heard of online shopping.
They can't get a high-speed internet out there either.
I know, right? The dial-up won't let them download
all
the thumbnails.
So this is actually for Ron, okay? So I'm going to put a CCA out, all right?
Nice.
And this is truly one of a kind, okay? So I'm digging through the long box, and I pull this out, and I'm talking to the guys, my coworkers in operations, and I'm asking them, I haven't seen this. I didn't see it in our system. So this is a true one-of-a-kind CCA. So Ken Hazer did it for us. And it was a sample for a project that never got off the ground. I was not here when all this happened, but I think it's actually from 2010. Okay. So there is truly only one of these available because.
Is it Buck Rogers?
No, it's Green Hornet.
It is not.
It is not.
Wait, John was so pumped.
Let me look out the window for a second. No, there is no taco truck parked there. I'm afraid there is no taco truck, so that's why you don't see any Green Hornet up here. All right, so anyway, it is Avengers Invader #1, blank cover variant, signed with cover sketch art of She-Hulk by Ken Hazer.
That is cool.
All right, and when we throw this up, you're going to see what I mean. This, I believe, was 2010. Yeah. Now, notice that Ken Hazer's signature is not what we're used to seeing. Nowadays, when he does CCA's cover sketch art for us, he does it with usually the same pen that he does a sketch in. This one he obviously did in something different.
Ron wants you to stop talking.
Ron, I had so much more to say about this, man.
Oh, he's gonna have
Ron said, "I don't care."
That's a great couple. I mean,
you got it, Ron.
I
thought of you when I pulled that.
And I was really sure this wasn't going to make it through like our first 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, I was back there. You never know. This seriously it's not a vault, but seriously, I'm digging through there and I pull it out because I hadn't seen it before. And I asked one of the guys, they're like, whoa, dude, that's back from 2010. I said, well, I tried to look for it in the system. It's not. And he goes, it's not in the system.
There's no system in 2010.
There was, but it was a one-off. It was a project they thought about doing. So they had Ken do a sample for them. And then it just never got off the ground for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason was. I guess that
maybe the She-Hulk project didn't get off the ground because it's a Marvel problem. I'm just taking a guess here.
But I said, so it's one of a kind. He goes, yeah, it's one of a kind. I said, wow, that's super cool. So I decided, why not? Why not?
Well, especially
better than Green Hornet.
She-Hulk is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. It is. Let's see. I know I never got to the price. Ron, $80 for 1980. So it has it doesn't have a suggested retail. I mean, but normally something like this would probably be 89 or 99, and suggested retail. But it is rare. I mean, this is it. I mean, whoever takes it, I assume it's Ron. That's it. We're not going to see it again because I don't have any more. And you can see, obviously Ken's signature is different. So, and he dated it with the year on the signature.
And
so
you
that's
saw Stevie B bid on the statue, right?
I believe I did. Yes, Stevie B.
Yeah, I think Stevie
B's at 50 on the
statue.
We're
at 50 on the statue. Okay.
So, so that one's for you, buddy. I'll always try to do that stuff. I don't see John Spilios here yet. Was not able to find more Punisher stuff, but I think we're going to try to, maybe get some cover sketch art done or whatever.
Well, find out what else he likes, man. I mean,
well, I'd like to know what everybody likes. All right. So, my email's no secret, rex.wang@dynamite.com. Would love to know if their preferences, certain titles, I'll always do my best, but, I can't guarantee anything, but we'll try. So, looking at getting more Punisher. I know there's more fans than just John Spilios, but, we want to hear your thoughts. I mean, this show is as much, the contribution of our viewers as it is, me. Well, probably it's the least amount as me and John, but also Alec and the producers that produce our shows, JD and Kyle. But you guys make the show, so definitely want to hear your feedback on that. So all right, so Alec, why don't you pick a book, buddy?
Let's see. I mean, we already banged out the other CCAs. I've been eyeing up that Darth Maul for a second now.
Oh, Darth Maul. Let's do that one.
Yeah, that one's fantastic.
See, that's the kind of the more traditional signature from Ken that we're used to saying.
All right, so Darth Vader Annual #1, signed cover sketch art with a Darth Maul sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star books at $50, and we have one available at that price. So, yeah, that seems a little bit more current Ken Hazer signature.
Yeah.
Not thin. I'm glad he's doing it with the bolder pen, though. You know what? A topic did occur to me. So now there are all these rumors about Doctor Strange, and this relates to something Alec and I have talked about in the past.
In the movie?
Yeah, the movie, and how there's people are guessing that
Dave is right.
Yeah, pretty much. Spam and cheesesteaks too, although we've kind of cut down on cheesesteak talk. The spam has pushed out the cheesesteak. How about a spam cheesesteak?
Should have sent the picture to Kyle to throw up there. Forget the comics. This is what I made the other day.
So what I find interesting, and Alec, you might know where I'm going with this. So now there are rumors that Patrick Stewart may be in there. And of course there were the rumors that Deadpool was going to be in there. Ryan Reynolds was going to be in there. Okay. And you know what occurred to me? Because we saw the trailer during the Super Bowl, right? So they played during the Super Bowl, and then obviously, like everything, the kind of they're right, too many leaks already too soon. But this is the point I'm trying to make, Marcus, is that the momentum dies a bit, and all of a sudden these rumors pop out. Okay, all right, and you begin to wonder: are they really leaks? Or are they planned rumors? And the reason I bring this up is
both, actually.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because on Alec's show a few weeks ago, he brought up an interesting point about, first appearance on a cover or first appearance in the story. And is it really first appearance? And then these rumors come out that there's going to be a first appearance there. Is Marvel really taking a formula from their comic book releases into their movies and vice versa? You see what I'm saying?
The show's about to get better. Amy's here.
Don't worry.
You guys are talking about trailers, and I'm like, what?
Yep. That's right up our alley.
My instincts kick in.
Hey, JD Barry, what's up, buddy?
JD.
True B, there's no spoilers because we don't know anything. We're too far. What's that?
Al, did you see the trailer first for Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah.
So all right, Marcus is saying
I thought it looked incredible.
I mean, whatever spoilers they may be, just what I don't care what cameos are in there. Just the trailer alone looks insane.
That's right.
Insane.
So Marcus,
Dave is right. That's exactly the business Marvel and Disney.
Well, absolutely. So Marcus says the trailer had Professor X in it.
You could hear it.
Well,
they get to like.
Well, no, they asked Patrick Stewart, and his answer was very opaque. His answer was, "Well, I can't control that. A lot of people, mimic my voice through the years."
Yeah, but not everybody is Tom Holland, right?
He's
Tom
in
Holland I can give half a drink to.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
I mean, seriously, I could give Tom Holland
Dwayne's
half a beer and find out the next 5 Spider-Man scripts. That guy cannot keep his mouth shut. I love him as Spider-Man, but Marvel, he drives Marvel and Disney nuts.
Yeah, but this is Marvel. I could see them feeding
him. Ruffalo's worse, but
I could see them feeding him false information.
At this point, there's probably an assistant, and that's his or her job. Here, tell Tom this. There you go.
They're definitely feeding him bad info.
I would be very surprised if that wasn't Patrick Stewart, because I think that's the direction they're going to go into. The Illuminati, they've got it. If all the things come together, right?
Right.
It looks like they'll eventually recast the Black Panther, even though right now I'm against it. But eventually they're gonna recast the Black Panther, right? They've already talked about
something's gonna happen.
Well, they have to do something because, obviously Chadwick is gone, so you got to have to recast
they have to. Whatchamacallit? We talked about this before, right? Started small with Iron Man.
Right.
And then it builds up to eventually, people don't realize a lot of times 10 years go by before you get to Avengers Endgame, right?
Right.
So that's why when the Avengers assemble, everybody in the theater goes nuts. They've wait 10 years for this. Now they have to kind of start all over again. You know what I mean? They kind of started with some.
I will tell you one thing. I'm not on board with the Tom Cruise, Tony Stark Iron Man thing.
Thank you. It's not just me.
Tom Cruise is the only actor that could be Tony Stark other than Robert Downey Jr.
I don't think so. I disagree.
I don't think that's even superior Iron Man like everyone was thinking.
Rick said it's the inferior Iron Man.
Yes, I think it's the inferior Iron Man.
Thank you. Yes,
Take note, Marvel. I'm going to copyright that title next week. But no, I just, just like when they made him Jack Reacher in the movie. Totally not what the book describes the dude as. In the book, Jack Reacher is a 6'5" dude, okay, with fists that are the size of Volkswagen Beetle. Okay. Tom Cruise is 5'9", people. He's my height. Okay.
No way, he's shorter than that.
He's from our generation.
Is he?
That dude's tiny. That dude's tiny. He's not 5'9".
Well, that's what they claim anyway. But that's my point, is that he would make an awful Iron Man.
Maverick can do no wrong.
Hush.
Okay. Listen, put him in a cockpit of an F-14 or F-18. Okay, Top Gun. I love the movie too. Love the soundtrack. Okay, all right. Or he's sitting there shaking, very realistic face. Pulling his faces back. Okay, that's awesome. The breathing. Okay, all right. That's it. That's it for me.
That's a deep cut. Chthon is the villain, man. I have a feeling that the villain, quote unquote villain, is probably going to be something Lovecraftian from the multiverse, because it looks like they've sort of gone a little bit in that direction.
Maybe. All right. So I'm going to throw another book out.
It's definitely going to be some sort of multiverse stuff.
I mean, I think it's so deliberate.
I'm so excited for it.
Well, it would imagine, at least in the short term, it looks like the villain is the Dark Doctor Strange, right?
Maybe. Marcus, that is a good point, though. I have to agree with that. Is that Tom was a box office guarantee. All right, but
the random 6'5" guy was Aquaman in Smallville, and then he was Hawk in Titans. That actor.
Oh, that's
he has like a little bit of a comic book pedigree, but he's like a big dorky dude.
All right, so let's throw this out here, and then we'll go to break, and then we'll come back with this and continue our discussion. Venom: The End, #1, signed by Razak. Suggested retail of $69.99. We have one available tonight for $29.99. That is a buy it now book, and we will come back to that one after we go to the break. So stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Cool. Or maybe
we're back now.
And we're back. Kyle probably went to eat. What break?
He's
I can't click fast enough to put the book up and then take it down and then go to break.
It's that air fryer, we know.
Now,
I gotta get.
Now we'll go to break.
Are we
Are
back?
we stuck?
We're back. We're back. We were
We're
stuck,
stuck.
but now we're back. There he is.
You
All
can't
right.
expect Kyle to put up pictures, check temps on the smoker,
And yes, I know.
Oh, he's got food on the smoker.
I can't put up and take down pictures as fast as Rex can read them.
Well, not only that, you do have to keep that temperature check on the smoker as well, man.
Well, and I also have to get like everything ready for the EXP's Comics Pro stuff, and
Well,
And do
we
we
just
have a
want to
show
make
on
sure
after
that the
hours?
ribs don't go bad.
Man, I'll tell you, he sent me a picture of his turn in, and I was just like, that was like quality work. That's
Wait,
like,
you
quality.
know
Wait,
you're
so what,
doing it
so what do
right,
we got
Kyle.
on the smoker?
What's that?
I'll throw a picture up. Give me a second.
Oh yeah.
Well, you
I need a
know
smoker.
he's doing it right if he's getting a compliment from John on the picture, because John is
the food guy.
All joking aside,
I'm
John
not
is
a
the
barbecue
expert.
competition guy. I've actually catered barbecue competitions because I wasn't a barbecue guy. These guys get sick after a while of endlessly eating ribs, so they would hire. They would hire someone
No, I
like
can't
me
see
to
it.
come in.
I can't
and
see that at
do
all.
Hoagies. You know what? I never understood that. They brought me in when they would do breakfast sandwiches on like a little cart, and I was happy for the work, but I was like, man, you guys have so much better food. And I was literally doing pork roll, egg, and cheese.
So John would
bacon,
go.
egg, and cheese.
John would cater these things and make no money because he'd be trading his hoagies for ribs.
There were times I made little to no money, but I didn't. You know, when I go home and I have a box of ribs, people come over.
Hey, we're done on this. We're done on this
that.
food talk. We're
The
done on it.
busiest guy at the barbecue competition is the taco truck guy. Which
Yeah,
is
I believe
the
it.
same as it would be the busiest guy in the Dynamite parking lot if John would come through on the taco truck.
Thank you very much for stating that. Marcus, better lighting needed for Rex. Thank you for saying that, but probably not. I do not believe it would make the show better. Ask John.
Light isn't the problem. Light is pretty low on the list.
What you
of problems.
see is the darkness, okay, caused by lack of taco truck. I'm in taco truck DTs, okay?
Oh, God
Hey, that was his
damn.
turn-in box. He messaged me that picture, and I was like,
Oh,
"What?
that
What-
looks
That's
good.
quality work, man."
So what is
promoting
that
the
right
shadow.
now?
He's promoting the shadow.
That's 7 bones. It's 7 bones of ribs.
No, did you just make that, or is that for a competition? Or
We cooked that. That was our competition this weekend. They're ready for
Sweet.
this. It was Stinky D's Fine Ass Barbecues Stanley Cup of Barbecue.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
And we
Marcus,
won the
you're
Stanley
right. It
Cup.
does cast a shadow.
it won? You said?
Yeah, we won the cup.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Mark.
I was going to say that was a winning rack, man. As well as if that didn't win, I would need to see what did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If somebody said that didn't win, yes, Spider Girl, that's absolutely barbecue ribs. That,
Top quality.
Our producer
Cup-
Kyle made.
John
Cup
can
winning.
tell you this. We won by 1.69 points.
Wow.
And in food competition, that's an absolute blowout.
Oh, really?
That is.
It's why.
That's
why.
huge.
People routinely
1
win
point?
by 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 maybe.
I don't. I used to watch
1.6
those.
is a
Hundredths
spanking. Not
of a
to have
point.
or anybody else. I'm sure
Wow.
people did good work.
I mean,
but
we used to watch those barbecue shows, but I wouldn't be focused on the competition.
no, that's a spanking.
I'd always be focused on the cooking and the presentation, and then decide I need a barbecue at the end of the
Now,
show.
I don't watch a lot of those shows, and I'm obviously not like a, like a cook-off type of person. But when you have ribs like that, do they actually really judge on presentation, like heavily?
So the way it works is there's taste, tenderness, and appearance.
Okay.
Taste and tenderness are weighted higher than appearance. So, if taste is a third, appearance is, or if taste is 1/3, appearance is a third, tenderness is a third. It's actually taste is maybe a third plus 1, tenderness is a third plus 1, and appearance is like a third minus 2. Like it's complicated, but it's weighted less appearance.
That makes sense. I mean, every time I have watched a show, though, it seems like everybody is always just all
Nice,
in
dude,
on
good.
making it as pretty as possible. Like, oh, I always hear them saying, like, oh, we need to make the appearance better. Like, we need to clean this up a little bit. So I always
Appearance
just
doesn't win you competitions, but it will lose you competitions.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
that's
We
probably the
missed
best
a
way to put
perfect
it.
score. We missed a perfect score by 0.06. And that was because one of our appearance scores was slightly low.
Did they say what
okay.
you could have done better? they-
We could have put more greens around it and made the box look a little fuller. But when your kale is frozen and you're trying to put it in the box and it's frozen together in chunks, you just put it in and pray. So,
well, it's one of those things too where a lot of times people don't know. They're like, "Why are they always in a styrofoam box?" Because they're supposed to be.
Right.
There is very much.
I actually didn't know that either.
You know what I mean? They're supposed to be. They're not supposed to have a ton of stuff.
They hand you the styrofoam box, so everybody has the exact same styrofoam box.
Yep.
And then you can use lettuce, kale, parsley, and some people are using, I forget, spinach under the barbecue now. Those are the 4 things you can use. And that's how you turn it in.
That's so cool, dude.
So the actual like barbecue ribs, like what was it more like hot, spicy? I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know these things.
It's layering flavors. So we had a
balanced.
Yeah, we had a strong pecan flavor. So it gives you some sweetness, and then you come in with some cherry habanero sauce to give you a little bit of heat on the back end.
So Spider Girl says, "Damn it, I want ribs now." We all do, Spider Girl.
Amy left. Did Amy go get ribs?
Maybe. I hope she remembers to grab us some. Marcus, potato salad. My preferred sides for barbecue is probably collard greens and baked beans.
I like that.
I absolutely love it.
My side for ribs is more ribs. I'm interested not at all in anything other than.
Ron,
do we have any barbecue comics? Ronald wants to know.
Ron, there's actually a Marvel What the comic book with Galactus on the cover, and he's got a barbecue he's got a spatula and a rack of like Galactus style ribs, and he's wearing like a chef's hat and an apron. So yes, they exist.
No, but we could order some barbecue, open up a comic with our barbecue stained fingers, and then put barbecue sauce on the cover. And then...
I haven't touched comics in a long time for that reason.
All right, so I'm going to throw something new out there. We talked about Doctor Strange, which I thought was interesting, but obviously they're promoting the Batman trailer. But more than that, I think the Boys animated series is coming out next Friday.
Next Friday,
right?
Wait, there's a Boys animated series?
I believe so, yes. It is. Hold on, I'm going to look right now.
I'm going to be honest. I thought The Boys on Amazon was really good, but I can only imagine they're going to go above and beyond for an animated.
I would think so. I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
It's probably going to be graphic.
The Boy Diabolical trailer, I think it drops this Friday. I'm almost positive it drops this Friday. Let's see. Let me see.
For people that haven't read The Boys or haven't checked it out on Amazon, go ahead and do so. I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and do so now.
Yeah, it's honestly really good.
The Boys is one of the best things. Not only that Dynamite has done, it's one of the best things that Amazon has done.
It was. I think it was a sleeper. I mean, obviously, it took years for it to make it to Netflix. But all right. So in honor of that, I decided to dig up something with The Boys once I remembered that it was dropping this next week. So we have The Boys #7, cover B, signed by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. Okay, the 2 creators of The Boys, same boys you see on the Netflix series, with the animated series coming out next week. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have this for as our 5-star book at $50. And I believe, I'm almost certain, this is the first time we've had The Boys, and certainly one that's been autographed by.
Yeah, I don't know if we've done a lot of The Boys before.
I don't think we've done any.
I don't think we have either. At least not since I've been on.
We've done The Boys before now.
Who's actually The Boys, there isn't a lot in there. Let's see because so many I can't get rid of them. Stevie B. Actually, it's not like we carry a lot of them. A lot of them sell out and they don't cross over.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you have something that sells as well as The Boys, there's not going to be a ton in the Dynamite vault.
Yeah, and the problem is it doesn't cross over from Dynamite to DF to get signed and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so we have,
it's a very different.
So this is truly just one of those leftover situations, kind of like the She-Hulk sketch art that I just sort of found. So there it is. And we'll do a recap in a little bit, but I want to get that out there, because it's not only relevant, but it's an excellent series. I mean, it gives you a different outlook on superheroes. That's for sure. All right, so the next book up. Yeah, right. I remember when it first came out, I watched a few episodes. I'm like, oh my God, can they do that?
I went into the show blind. I have a friend that's honestly obsessed with the boys, like the reading, the shows, everything. And I didn't watch the first season when it first came out because I didn't know anything about it. And he told me, he was like, dude, you're really missing out. And I was like, all right, yeah, it's whatever. But then I had a friend who doesn't like any Marvel. He doesn't like DC. Like the superhero stuff is just not for him. And he watched The Boys and was like, yo, this is like probably the best thing on Amazon that he's seen. And he's like, this is a top-notch show. I was like, all right, screw it, man. If you're hyping this one up, I'll give it a shot. It really is fantastic. And then from there, I ended up buying the books. But I'm going to be honest with you. I stopped buying the omnibus because Nick said the hardcover's coming out. Man, I eat those hardcovers up. So it was like a good and bad thing, him mentioning that hardcover.
I know. It's like good news.
I would have kept buying the paperbacks, but he said it. I was like, oh, I'm going to buy the hardcovers instead.
All right, so let's hit another book. All right, so we got X-Men Fantastic Four #1, Mark Brooks variant, signed by Terry and Rachel Dodson. Suggested retail of $69.99. We have one available tonight for $19.61. All right, so Dodson's. So it's a dual signed book and signed in silver. Obviously, Dodson's. Fantastic creators, and it's really cool sometimes to see like a husband and wife team type of thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have that with Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor.
Right.
I think we had, to my knowledge, I don't think Matt Fraction and Kelly Sue DeConnick have done anything together. I think their careers are fundamentally separart.
Right. I think they are too.
Like both, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's kind of cool when you see, Mike Von Oming, and I can't think of his wife's name, Taki Soma. Well, she'll color or ink some of the stuff he did. I think she did victories or some of the victories for him. And to see that sort of, it's going to be a cool thing. They're working at the table. He just slides it over. She slides it back. I mean, that, you know what I mean? That's got to be pretty neat.
Right. No, I agree. So, all right. So let's do, since we're talking about the boys and Dynamite, let's do, here we go.
Hold on. With that book, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that a 1 out of 14 as well? That's
let me see. Yes, it is. You are correct, sir.
Yeah, I saw it on there, and I was gonna say that makes it like really, up there. One, you don't see too many number ones.
You don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of. I guess, and this is what somebody told me. They always like the lowest number possible. I also had someone tell me who collects numbered books, and he told me he either wants, let's say there's 50, and maybe this is like his weird little OCD thing, but he wants number 1 or he wants number 50.
Yeah,
fact.
I know people that collected that last.
You know what I mean? Ron's claiming.
All right, you got it, Ron.
So, real quick, a retailer, Jesse James, who's a friend of mine, when he does his store exclusives, they're all individually numbered. He sells people legacy numbers, so you can buy. I collect number 7.
Nice.
So I can sign up I can go to Jesse and say, hey, I want to buy number 7 of every exclusive you do.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
I thought that was really a cool idea.
That is a cool idea. That is a very cool idea.
I like that mainly because I don't know if this is just me, I don't know, with a tin hat on, but I have a hard time trusting a lot of companies when they say like limited to 300 or limited to 500 or 1,000. And there's no like COA at all with it saying which number it is. It's just a variant that says, yes, it's limited to this number. I don't know if I can always believe them. You never know. Maybe they have a lot more copies. Maybe there's a lot more printed just in case for, whatever reason. So it's just the issue exists, but there's no actual number to it. Maybe that's just, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, if the place where you get that comic, he has Rolex watches right next to it. You probably can't trust that numbering system is what I'm saying.
When I got the masks black and white, I went right back there and counted to make sure there were 99 others because that's like great.
Yeah, it must be why the sales went down to
71,
2.
72, 73.
Every copy touched by John. So, all right. So let's go to the next book.
There were 100 issues of that book made. I now have 5 of them. Masks #1, the Howard Chaykin pencil art thing. They did 100. Somehow I just, every time I see it, I buy it.
Or take it.
And now I'm like, you know what? I should probably let some back out in the wild because there's somebody that's had this thing on their wish list for 3 years. Like,
release it back into the wild, please. All right, so let's do another book. So Justice League number 53, cover A, signed by Liam Sharp. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we have it for $19.60, the year the JLA first appeared.
Yeah, look at the composition there in the blade.
The reflection off the blade.
Really cool. I mean, that's not like the newest thing in comics, the blade reflection, but that's really well done.
So Ronald says, AR, that's the grassy knoll theory of comic books.
I'm just saying. I don't know. You can't always trust everybody.
You got to adjust your tin hat a little bit, Alec. It's a little sideways.
6,000 people have a book numbered to 20 copies. Yes.
I keep the tin hat on at all times.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure. I hate to say it, in every venture, in every profession, every vocation, there's always going to be some level of shadiness.
Stevie B switched to straight bourbon. Attaboy.
There you go.
But I saw it happen more with sports collectibles than with comic book collectibles. You know, sports collectibles was the beginning of signed collectibles, that type of thing, numbering, limited editions. So comic books kind of came after that. So I kind of feel like that some of the Marcus, if HSN says it, it's got to be true. I kind of feel
Ted
like
Williams really signed 14,000 balls
after he died. It was amazing. That's a sad story, Ted Williams, man. When they froze him up, oh my gosh, and they couldn't fit him in a tank.
I used to do a lot of sports memorabilia shows. You know how you go to a sports memorabilia show and you'd see that like hot dog card or whatever sandwich truck out there? That was usually me. And some of the stuff I'd see at the end of the night was hysterical. Like there is not a lot of trust between dealers and that, you know.
There were a few scandals, you know, and early on in the early part of sports collectibles, which kind of soured a lot of people. And it was, I mean, when the FBI is running sting operations against your industry, it's not a good sign. But I feel like that all the issues got kind of shaken out when it reached comics, like, you know, all the kind of problems that occurred with sports memorabilia kind of got not resolved per se. I'm not saying that, you know, everybody's above board, but I think, you know, a lot of the safety measures, that kind of thing kind of took place, you know, after that fact. So Dwayne Zepay says we sell minted coins and only allocate for sale what is said to be minted. There you go. I mean, the coin industry, though, is much older than whether it be sports collectibles or comic collectibles in the same sense. So it's a much more mature industry. I mean, they were, you know, coins were probably the first collectibles to be slabbed. That's how cards got the same idea. You have great coins,
too, right?
Yeah, stamps as well. But coins really, you know, really took off, you know, in terms of grading and getting them slabbed. You know, and they served another purpose of protecting the coin as well. Yeah. You know, which then translated into trading cards and eventually comics. So, but all right. So let's see.
Real quick. Jen King was telling me a story. She does the Houston currency show every year, which is this big coin show. And rather than leaving their inventory in the room with the security guards at night, these guys will load up millions of dollars of currency in like briefcases and just put them in their car because they trust their car more than they trust the security guards at the convention center. So
I believe it. I mean, because you're talking about something that's about this big, you know, slab. You know,
after stuff I've seen at sports card shows and comic shows, I'm beginning to think that I kind of agree with them. Yeah,
I mean, you know, comics are a little bit different. You're not sliding this into your front pocket. You know, John's tried it. Trust me, it doesn't work. So yeah, I could sort of see that as well, especially, you know, from an insurance standpoint, all that other stuff. If you got to be responsible for it. All right, so you know what? Let's go with a Dynamite book, since we're talking about Dynamite to start with. So we have Vampirella number 25, sold out, limited edition, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle homage incentive variant cover, signed by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $39.99, and this is available tonight for $19.84.
Which one, Rex? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Vampy number 25, the TMNT homage. There it is. Signed by Ken Hazer, and that's a signature I know our regular viewers can recognize because John and I are huge Hazer fans. So Dwayne's a Pain says, that's true, Kyle. We hand deliver high value orders and tell security nothing. Armored trucks draw attention. That's a good point too, right?
They do that at car shows. I've done vending at car shows, and we're setting up at 3 a.m, and you're watching them come in, and there will be a tractor trailer that comes in with just regular cars, and you never see, like I think somebody was bringing in like a GM Cheetah, which is like a concept car from the 60s that was sort of
right. They also don't want people to see it.
More Corvette than Corvette. So first of all, they don't want you to see it. So it comes in a trailer that could really be anything.
Right.
And second of all, yeah, I mean, people steal stuff. So,
that's probably a little harder to steal than a slab coin.
I was at a car show a few years ago, and I don't want to name the name because I don't know how it worked out, but they had I'm trying to think of what it was. Maybe it was like a Thunderbird. It's like a numbered Thunderbird, and it was in a trailer. And the trailer just disappeared.
Dude, that's Fast and Furious kind of
and
stuff.
They're running around like crazy. It's in this lot. It's in that lot. And for the time I was there, they didn't report that they found the trailer.
Wow, that's like Fast and Furious type
This
stuff.
was like
man.
a Thunderbird that had been redone by like one of the Chip Foose affiliates or whatever. And this was like a 6-figure vehicle. And
Gone in 60 Seconds. Yes, I actually love that movie. That was a great movie.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Backed up a truck to whatever the trailer was.
Took the car.
Hitched it up and left.
Oh man, that stuff really happened. All right, Dwayne's a Pains at 55 on the statue. I got you, Dwayne. All right.
Well, of course it happens. I mean, there's video of Philadelphia where people are just like taking
that's
the
carjacking, dude.
ATM machine. They're just taking a whole machine.
Yeah,
right
but that's a little different, you would think, than a car. But yeah, no, you might be right there, brother. All right, so let's see. Alec, you want to pick another one?
Let's see. We haven't done a slab in a while.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't done a slab. Let's do a slab.
Let's do a slab.
Let me see. We did. Wait a minute. Where are all the slabs? Let me see. I can't find them on my sheet.
This is a Batman slab. I'm looking at this right here.
I was say we did a Batman one.
Slab.
Well, we didn't.
There are 2 Batman slabs.
This is a J. Lee cover, pencil art cover.
Do we really only put 2 on here? Well, we may have. All right, so Batman number 50, Dynamic Forces exclusive pure pencil sketch variant, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. This was a rare variant. So suggested retail is $499.99. We have one available tonight for $193.90.
Yeah, there's not.
So what are we thinking about the Batman trailer?
I'm honestly looking forward to that too.
Are you?
Yeah, I think it looks really good.
I rented the theater for it today.
Say again?
I rented a whole theater for it today.
Did you really?
Did you really?
Yep. Me and 30 of my friends are going to be able to yell at the screen when we're unsatisfied with the movie.
Were you unsatisfied with the trailer?
I've been unsatisfied with every comic book movie ever made. But
that's pretty clear.
But
Kyle
no,
will
it's
be in seat 7, aisle 7.
It comes out 2 days after my birthday, so it's gonna be my birthday party.
Oh, that's a very cool idea.
That is a cool idea, actually. But I don't know. Robert Pattinson, I guess we're gonna find out. At this point,
I've said this before. I'm not
still better than Tom Cruise is Superior Iron Man.
I'm not. Watch, he's going to be Superior Iron Man, and then the rumors will start that he's going to be Iron Man in a new Iron Man movie. Watch how this spins out of control. I am not a particularly ardent Batman fan, but if I am sort of obligated to watch or read or see Batman, I like a certain type of Batman. This is not going to be that Batman. I don't like the suit. I don't like the car.
I don't like the fact that the mask goes straight back like that.
I'm very much
I'm not a fan of that.
Batman animated series guy.
It has kind of a Zorro look to it.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not happy with it.
And I don't like when Batman's in a muscle car. Anybody can have a muscle car.
I'm okay with the car, to be honest with you. But the mask doesn't work for me. So, all right. Before we have to go to our next break, I'm going to do a quick recap for anybody that's just joining us. As always, we started with the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, Cover price of $3.99 or higher. So a total retail price.
Marcus, he is not.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Thank God. Did you miss any? You have not yet, buddy. So I have not had a chance to find anything. But I do have it in my notes. So I'm going to try to get something on next Monday. So we started off with Dynamite 10-pack reader set, as always, available for $5, so 50 cents a copy. Then we had Venom, The End, signed by Raza. Suggested retail of $69.99. And tonight we have one available at $29.99. Then the XMen FF was claimed by Ron. Then we had Justice League number 53, cover A, signed by Liam Sharp. Suggested retail of $69.99. And tonight we have it at $19.60. And as John had mentioned, that the art on that,
the art on the blade.
I
mean, that's just
that's unreal. Then we had The Boys number 7, cover B, signed by creators Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. Suggested retail of $89.99, and dual signed, we have this one available for $50. All right, so let's see. Then we did Vampirella number 25, sold out limited edition TMNT homage incentive variant cover, signed by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $39.99, and we have one available for $19.84. Then we did Despicable Deadpool number 287, blank variant, signed by Deadpool co-creator Fabian Nicieza, with a colored Deadpool sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $119.91. It is a best offer book tonight, starting at $50. Then we did Darth Vader Annual number 1, signed and remarked with a Darth Maul sketch by Ken Hazer. Cool. Suggested retail of $89.99, and it is one of our 5-star books at $50.
We got a claim for the Boys.
All right. You got it, buddy. Let me go back. Okay. Got you down, my friend.
Sorry, man. I just didn't.
No. Are you kidding me? It's good when you interrupt me like that because I'm so busy reading. I miss it. So you're my separate pair of eyes, even without a taco truck. Like a dog with a bone. I'm not going to give it up. All right. So Avengers Invader was claimed by Ron with the one-of-a-kind CCA. Then we had Batman number 50, Dynamic Forces exclusive pure pencil sketch variant, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $499.99. We have one available for $193.90. And then we have had Boys number 95, first printing, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is another one of our best offer items at $40. And then we had Women of Dynamite, 1/6 scale, Sheena Queen of the Jungle, J. Scott Campbell statue, suggested retail of $189.99.
That's a great statue.
It is a best offer item, and currently Dwayne Zapane is in the lead at $55. And that takes us to our next break. So stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes for more interesting talk. We might talk more about food. I really need to eat before we do the shows.
We'll see.
So not helpful, John. So stay. Hey, we match. We must have called each other. No, not really. I'm gray, you're green. It looks the same there. All right. So anyway, stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes with some more nonsense.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome everybody to Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Space Cadets.
Hey. What's up? Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
And here we are. We're
What's
back.
up?
Stevie B, I got you, buddy. Isn't it bourbon goggles, not beer goggles? Just checking. And then Stevie B, here you go. He says, I was disappointed when Jonah Hex failed as a movie because the concept definitely had big screen Western potential. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't know how they messed that up.
I'm a huge fan of Westerns. They've done a ton of Western comics.
It wasn't even a good Western movie.
Wasn't even, not only was it not a good comic movie, it wasn't a good Western. It's one of these deals where, who is it, Megan Fox again?
Yes.
They get her in there and they figure, oh, you know what? She's like, every couple of years there's a new hot commodity that they put in a movie. And it seems like when the hot commodity goes in the movie, they get him or her signed and in the movie. And then the next thing you know, the story is sort of secondary.
I think
like
Brolin
we got t-shirts in the stores, so we'll bang out something over the weekend.
I thought Brolin would be able to pull it out, but it didn't work. It was just a really painfully bad movie. I don't know why.
Jonah Hex, though, let's be honest. Jonah Hex, I've read a lot of Western comics. I went through a period where I was reading a ton of Western comics. Jonah Hex is something that Westerns are a little bit different than capes or even crime comics, right?
Right.
Westerns are about setting a mood, which is harder for people to understand. Like, people understand the urban jungle. People will understand maybe, like the desert or whatever. It's hard for people to understand the prairie in like the 1860s or the 1880s.
Right.
If you look at the Lone Ranger stuff that Dynamite has done, some people complain there wasn't a ton of action in those books. There was the appropriate amount of action after the mood was set. That's why I think that Lone Ranger stuff was so successful, and why sometimes other people took swings at Westerns. Like, I tell anyone, go look at Rio. Doug Wildey's Rio. Everybody knows Doug Wildey from Johnny Quest, but go look at Doug Wildey's Rio. And that's a guy who decided, I'm going to do this Western strip at my own pace. And I'm going to tell the story I want to tell.
Right.
Or, I hate to say it, you can kind of do, like the sort of Jack Kirby-esque 50s and 60s thing where I'm just going to tell a rollicking story with cowboys. But you can only do that so much, and you can only do that a certain time period. In the 50s and 60s, kids were reading everything, right? There's a ton of Westerns on TV. There's very few Westerns on TV for that.
Yes, that's true.
Very few. I mean, I know there's a new one, 1883, which is supposed to be like a prequel to Yellowstone. I don't know if I really consider those Westerns as such. I mean, I tell people Lonesome Dove was 35 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? There's a ton of Western movies pop back a little bit every now and then. When you kind of start doing something with Western and the supernatural, like Jonah Hex is, I think there's a ton of potential there. You really have to have the right kind of creator. Or as a comic, too.
Yeah, I agree.
There are people who've taken swings at Cowboys and Vampires and stuff like that, and it works really well. But you have to sort of, you have to have the right creator. And you have to have the right audience, quite frankly.
I think that's a very good point. So Dwayne's a pain. I got you 75 on the statue, buddy.
Kyle said he's going to be stepping away for 2 minutes. His pizza's here.
I know, we're making him 200.
I got to say, step down after his ribs, man.
No doubt, right?
It's just pizza.
This pizza has pork belly on it, so it's not just.
Ooh,
nice.
That sounds delicious.
It does.
That does sound good.
That does sound delicious. I'll tell you what we'll talk about for a minute or two so Kyle can get his food.
We're good.
He's going to talk about this anyway, so it didn't matter.
Anyway.
Didn't matter. Your pizza didn't have anything to do with it.
It's kind of like a little bit of a segue. Speaking of Westerns, probably my favorite space Western is Firefly.
I would agree. I love that
Firefly.
series. I really did.
This week, new comic book day, a new Firefly dropped with Kaylee's the captain. She's sort of gone through the whole thing where we started with Mal, moved our way forward, and now it's sort of keep flying, and it's really good. It's really, really good. They've done a good job with Firefly. There's a little bit of hiccup at one point, but and I understand right now Joss Whedon isn't like the most popular guy in the world. The guy has his issues or whatever, but Firefly is, to me, it's like one of the best things that's been created in the 21st century, looking at those kinds of properties, right? It worked as science fiction. It works as sort of like a half Western type thing. I mean, everything from the costumes to the performances that the actors and actresses gave to even the way they spoke. I can't think of her name now. She's Joss Whedon's writing partner. I saw a panel with her a few years ago, and she talked about how long they sat in a room and tried to come up with like new vernacular.
Right.
You know what I mean? And ways of saying things.
Right.
And it really worked. And thankfully, when people are taking over the comic, they're kind of, the original comic had a lot of Joss Whedon's unpublished material, unused material for what would have been season 2 of Firefly.
Right.
But there's only so much of that I did, right? So then they had to start, you know what I mean?
Well, Dwayne's a pain brings up a good point. It's what a Han Solo series should have been.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Great point.
So Ron asked about the slab CCA. I believe, Ron, that would actually be the mega kit. All right, so I'm going to get to that one next. So, all right, the Batman Mega Mix set. Batman number 100 signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer. Batman number 1 Dynamic Force exclusive black and white cover. Batman number 90 second printing signed by James Tinian IV. And then Batman number 51 signed by Tom King. And then finally, Batman Who Laughs number 1 CGC guaranteed 9.8. So a little bit different than what we normally do. Nilo, I'm sorry, buddy. Monday we will have, I believe you're an ASM fan. If you are, we will have one on Monday, I promise. And you know what? Maybe for Monday's show, we'll throw in some extra Mega Mix sets.
I agree, Marcus. I mentioned this on Twitter one day when we were having one of the days when Book of Boba Fett came out. I said, these are essentially Western sets.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
The pacing, the way they're done, the music. You've got a Marshall. I mean, you got Timothy Oliphant, who's the Marshal for Hollywood. Everything the guy's in, he's a gunslinger.
No, I agree with that. I mean, it's. I love a good Western. I used to be a huge fan of Westerns. I love John Wayne films. But it's been a while. I mean, the last modern day Western. Nilo, gotcha, buddy. Vampy Elvira. I'm gonna write that down so I can take notes so I can remember for Monday.
Vamp Elvira, we can do.
Let's see. Nope. Yeah, we can do Vampy. We can do Elvira. All right. So the last great Western I feel like I've watched was I can't remember the name.
Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood?
No, that was a great one too, though. That was just dark.
310 to Yuma?
Nope.
My personal favorite
I was just typing that, John.
Oh, really? Was Silverado.
That's it.
I love
Thank you.
Silverado, and I
Thank
realized that it's basically like
Kevin Costner. That was a blockbuster cast.
parody of a Western, but I love Silverado.
That was. I'm not sure.
Did you do your covers from last week?
I'm not sure. But you know what? I will make sure that there are JR covers for next week. I'm making a note now.
We got a little bit of a period there where Tombstone came out, Wyatt Earp came out. We had a few, like they try. I think what happens is they try and then they sort of, it's only got so much. There's only so many people that will watch Westerns. Like Nick has mentioned this. He would love to be publishing Lone Ranger all the time. There's just not a massive enough market. And there's, you know what I mean? Everybody's doing a ton of books and you've got schedules for creators. You know what I mean? So something like Lone Ranger, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
So Marcus says Three Amigos. I love that film, but that was comedy. So yeah. So a comedy.
Great.
I like okay. I don't know. It just something about it. We just all. I don't know.
Have you guys?
Quick and the Dead is the shootout where Leonardo DiCaprio grabs his neck and he's like, "Wow, that's fast."
Yeah,
and I just love that.
I don't know.
I
mean, obviously it has star-studded cast as well. It just Silverado had this kind of I don't know. It just had this sort of old style.
Yeah, I think it was an homage. Yeah. I think Silverado was more. There's basically you got a couple different kinds of Westerns, right? You've got the traditional Western, John Wayne, Technicolor music, right? And then you've got what used to be called spaghetti Westerns.
Yes.
That Clint Eastwood was in. And those were much more grim and gritty. And probably, as much as I love John Wayne movies, probably a lot more analogous to the Old West.
Yes.
In the 19th century than, everybody's spotless and clean, two-gun kid, all that stuff. It's probably a lot more like Clint Eastwood. Guy blows into town. And then you sort of have, I guess, what you'd almost consider like what's a good way to put this? Almost like the experimental Western where they're trying something new. And those experimental Westerns almost never fly. People seem to be very binary in what they like. They want a Clint Eastwood movie, some variant of it, or they want a John Wayne movie, some variation of it.
Right.
When they try to sort of, there's like a bunch of actors you kind of need in these movies, like Sam Elliott, you kind of need certain guys to make these movies work.
Right.
And when they kind of drift too far out, there were some really good Westerns on Netflix that were really well done, but they just didn't, you know what I mean? Netflix in particular, there's a ton of Western stuff on there.
Yeah, you're right.
And I just,
and they had some series and as well.
They're sort of not. They don't have the cast that you need, and it's really kind of difficult to sort of, especially if you know a little bit about the West. You're like, that Ron. That's true. Henry Fonda was one of the evilest villains in movie history.
Yes, Once Upon the West, one of my favorites.
It wasn't the first time Fonda was a villain. Fonda was a hideous villain in a movie called Warlock.
That one I don't remember.
Warlock is a great movie about how, I guess they use the term, you die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. That's the essence of that phrase, is that movie Warlock.
62 Lefty in the house. What's going on, buddy? Your prize book I actually shipped today. Hey, Joel. What's going on, Nilo? So your contest winning prize with Robbie, that went out today. Just wanted to let you know, buddy.
Super quick.
No, not tonight.
Hey, super quick. The Darth Vader, Darth Maul book is still available, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend wants it. I'm messaging him right now because he's a massive Star Wars fan, and I'm trying to see if I'm asking him if he's gonna pop on the stream and claim it, or if he just wants me to pay for it and send it out.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, but he wants it. So
real quick before we move on from Western talk.
Yes.
Three things. One, if you've not seen the 4K UHD remaster of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on a new giant 4K TV, you've done it wrong. It is absolutely stunning to see the sweat actually roll off the guy's face like you're there. Just perfect. Two, if you're into Yellowstone and into Westerns, 1883 on Paramount Plus is a modern Western that's just killer with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill as the lead characters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the best underrated Western, in my opinion, is Duel at Diablo, starring Sidney Poitier, James Garner, and Dennis Weaver.
I feel like I've seen that, but it's probably been a long time since I saw it. So I can't really. Magnificent Seven, I enjoyed that one.
Everybody sort of has their, Magnificent Seven is essentially the American West version of Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. I couldn't think of it for a second. And I think that sort of energy is what you get with The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Like a little bit of an essence of samurai, and then through the lens of the American West, and then of course they shoot that into the Star Wars universe.
Well, that's a short journey, mainly because the Jedi were kind of
George Lucas has talked about that before. That hey John, how you doing, bud?
John, what's going on, buddy?
He talked about that. George Lucas talked about how Kurosawa influenced a lot of what he did. Especially with the Jedi in particular, how they were almost like a religious order.
Right, exactly.
Joel, Cowboys versus Aliens. I know people, it doesn't have a great Rotten Tomatoes score. I think that's a fun watch, man.
I enjoyed
pops up
it
on TNT. I leave it on.
I enjoyed it. It was weird, but I did enjoy it. All right, so let's throw another book out here, and I know that John Spilios just joined us, Nilo, and a bunch of others. So we'll do a quick recap after I throw this book up. So,
Young Guns was a great movie.
Yes, Young Guns. I forgot about that one too. Deadpool versus X-Force #4, signed by Dwayne Sorinsky. Excuse me. We have one available tonight at $29.99. And then we'll leave that up for a couple seconds, and then we will go to our recap. Ron says Dennis Weaver torture scene.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot about. Well, I tried to wipe that from my brain, but thanks. No, that's very good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you know what? Let's do a quick recap. So as always, we started with the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $40 suggested retail or higher. As always, $5, so 50 cents a copy as a thank you to our viewers. Then we had Venom, The End, signed by Raza, suggested retail of $69.99, and we have one available tonight at $29.99. That's a great cover.
Dwayne, you're absolutely right. Dwayne is just, we're still kind of talking about. Stop with the comics. We're talking about Westerns. You're missing the plot.
No, keep talking about it. Let me just do a recap.
Dwayne brings up a good point. Star Wars is essentially the Hidden Fortress.
Yes. I mean, George Lucas took elements from a lot of different things in building the Star Wars universe.
Well, I think he talked about that. He
did.
His favorite things, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
And sort of find a way to work them in.
All right, so then we had, that was claimed by Ron. Never mind. Then we had Justice League number 53, cover A, signed by Liam Sharp. Suggested retail of $69.99. Tonight we have one available for $19.60.
It's nice.
All right.
I tell you, I'm peeking at that. I kind of like that.
Well,
who can say what happens to inventory? These are tough times.
John Cole surcharge is what happens. Deadpool versus X.
I'm going to try this. I have a friend who might want me to buy it for him. Maybe he'll come in the chat.
Yeah, I'm going to need a credit report from your friend.
Nice.
You're not Alex, sir. I'm going to need to see a credit report. Run his FICO score.
Ron, that's a really cool
all right,
cover,
buddy.
Man.
Let me get that down for you. All right, so Ron is
Alex is trustworthy. Maybe now not so much.
I might need DNA testing.
Next Monday, you have to find Lone Ranger, though. If we're going to talk about this much Western, you have to find something with Lone Ranger.
Yeah. Send me an email.
Yeah, they me do it because you read hers.
Yeah, I do. I have to. All right. So then we had Vampirella number 25, sold out limited edition TMNT homage incentive variant cover, signed by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $39.99. Tonight we have it available for $19.84.
I love the Vampyverse versions on there, though. They're very cool. You know what I mean? You have like the cyborg. Yeah. I think the one there's Vampirella, but then I think there's Cave Vamp, and I see one is like the Robo Vamp or whatever. They did some very cool versions from Vampyverse. Tom Stigassi did a very good job there.
So then we had Despicable Deadpool number 287, blank variant, signed by Deadpool co-creator Fabian Nicieza with a colored Deadpool cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $119.91. It is a best offer item for starting at $50. Then we had the Darth Vader Annual #1 signed and remarked with a Darth Maul sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99, 5-star at $50. And I know you'll let us know, Alec, if you're going to claim it for your friend, or if your friend's going to tune in and claim it.
I'm just waiting for him to respond at this point, because I sent him a picture of it and he was like, "That's awesome." And I said, "Do you want it? It's 50." And he was like, "Hell yeah, I want that." So
all right. So you'll let us know.
Yeah,
you'll let us know, buddy.
If he doesn't respond by like 45, I'll just say never mind. If anyone in the chat wants it, then that's his own fault. Then he had more than enough time.
All right. So then we had Batman #95, first printing, CGC graded. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Got to go back one. Batman #50, Dynamic Forces exclusive pure pencil sketch variant, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Had a suggested retail of just under $500. We have one available tonight for $193.90.
I'll tell you, for some people that might be pricey, but that's totally worth it. There's a lot of value in that book at that price.
And when with slab books with us, there's no submission time, there's no waiting.
Yeah, it's just here's your 9/8 book.
Yeah, and you know exactly what the grade's going to be because we're telling you what the grade's going to be, what the grade is right now. So then we had let's see, Batman. Did I do 95 yet? Batman #95, first printing. CGC graded 9.8. This is another best offer item. Best offer starting at $40. Then we had, and give Kyle a minute. There you go. That's the mega set. We can do that next. So then we did the Batman mega set. Includes Batman #100 signed and remarked by Ken Hazer. Batman #1 DF exclusive black and white cover. Batman #90 second printing signed by James Tinian IV. And Batman #51 signed by Tom King. And then finally, Batman Who Laughs #1, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Let's see. And then we had the Women of Dynamite 1/6 scale, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, J. Scott Campbell statue, suggested retail of $189.99. This is a best offer item, and currently Dwayne Zapane is in the lead at 75. And John Spilios wants to know why we're not talking about Barbarella.
I need it.
I think Barbarella Sarah Hoyt's doing a great job on that book. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but I actually asked something very similar. We should be talking about this more. I mean, we try to cover all the books, not just the Dynamite books. There's only so much space, almost so much time in the comic space to discuss stuff, and books get forgotten. And I hate that. This is maybe the second time Barbarella's had a great run, and it's just sort of, you know what I mean? I think a good way to put this is, and I hate this, but in a universe with Vampirella, a better-known character, Red Sonja, a better-known character, and Jennifer Blood, a character that's got a much more kinetic storytelling style than Barbarella, I think a little bit it gets sort of lost in the shuffle. But, John, I am reading it. Like I said, I think Sarah Hoyt's doing an amazing job on that book. I'm hoping that, as word continues to spread about how good this book is, more people are reading it. I mean, why don't we talk about it? Well, we try to, on this show, we try to have, we've got the books. People are like, what's the slab? What's this? What's that? More CCAs, blah, blah, blah. So we try to get to the things that people are actually showing up for. You know what I mean? But in terms of Barbarella is a character that has more European roots than American roots. I don't know if that is why she isn't quite, to use a pro wrestling term, as over. You know what, John? I generally don't. Oh, that's a great idea, Ron. Get John T. Fonda to sign some covers of the book. John, I don't.
$1,000.
Well, no, you know what? No, John asks a good point. Is Barbarella selling well? I don't know, and I'll tell you why I don't know, because that's kind of where, Rex might actually know better than I would. That's
my pay grade. Nobody sends me those figures.
That almost blurs the line between my doing this, my friendship with Nick, because now all of a sudden I'm almost asking him, like, what are you selling? How much you're making? You don't do that with your friends. You know what I mean? I'm hoping it sells well. I hope everything that Dynamite does sells well.
So the reason I don't know is because that's handled by our editorial department, and obviously, somebody else compiles the numbers from the distributors and stuff, and so I don't really see those numbers. I imagine that it is. Generally, if something's not selling well, we discontinue the title. I mean, that's
what I was going to say. That's
kind of the way it works.
Generally, I think it's selling well, but I don't, like nobody here has numbers or anything.
I'm assuming, that guys like John Spilios, are keeping it going. But again, I don't actually have access to those figures. So, but let's see. Last night on Dan and my show, we were fantasy casting a new Barbarella movie.
Florence Pugh, yeah, absolutely, dude.
She would be a great choice.
I can agree with that.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So, all right, I'm gonna. You know what? It's almost time for our next break. Let's see. Dwayne's opinion does not have U.S. appeal.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, he's exactly right. I mean, something like Vampirella, Red Sonja, these have much more. I mean, I think Barbarella is a French property. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. I think it's. And I think it has more of a, like a European, Vampirella, there's multiple generations our age of people grew up with those Warren magazines under the bed. Like your mom was fine with Green Lantern being on the nightstand. She wasn't fine with Vampirella being on the nightstand. There's like a lot of nostalgia that powers both Red Sonja and Vampirella.
Right. No, I agree. 62 Lefty, Rio Bravo, The Searchers, and Unforgiven we mentioned. I loved Unforgiven, but it was kind of dark.
Rio Bravo's a great movie. Searchers.
Adrian in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us, man.
What's up, buddy?
It's time for our last break, and then when we come back from break, I'll do another quick recap, only because we had a bunch of people join us a little bit later. Chisholm, John Wayne, love him. Sons of Katie Elder was another favorite of mine.
That's great.
That was
Earl
a great
Holliman
one. Yeah. But we'll be back in a couple minutes. Stay with us, and we'll get to a few more books, a recap, and maybe a little bit more Western talk.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
All right, and we're back.
Are back.
All right, so
I'll throw this out there too because John mentioned Barbarella. Barbarella's storytelling, again, really like what Sarah Hoyt's doing, but her storytelling is more subtle. Barbarella is more, to put it this way, Barbarella is more of almost like an intelligence operative. Like there's almost a little bit more of a spy vibe there. Right now you've got Vampirella, Vampiverse, Red Sonja, Sonjaversal. Every possible conceivable version anyone's ever had of any of these characters is out there right now.
Right.
And I say that not in a bad way. I'm super happy because I love these characters. But when you look at that sort of, huge thing, we had Betty Page a while back, American Icon. Elvira, and I'm pretty sure we'll get Elvira again. No spoiler alert, but I'm reasonably certain there'll be more Elvira from Dynamite at some point. I really think that Barbarella is, and maybe Nick might have like a better take on this, but I think Barbarella is almost struggling for space. You know, it's like in pro wrestling when you have a ton of people that are good. You know, somebody's not going to get on TV. And I think when you've got all these books out there that Dynamite's doing right now, and each and every one of them, that, you know, I think it's hard in the, you know, the sales might be there, but in the conversation, you know, I don't know if it's, you know, if it gets mentioned as much as it should. Adrian, you're right. Barbarella is a great, fun book. I think if sci-fi is your thing, I think if sort of a little bit of a more lighthearted approach is your thing.
Right.
I think right now, as much as I love Vampirella is pretty serious right now. Between Unholy, The Marriage to Dracula, you read Vampire, that's some pretty serious stuff. I think if you're looking for something maybe slightly a little bit more on the lighter side, I think Barbarella is absolutely your go-to. Just like pages, and just like Elvira is. Real quick, probably we have some books to get to yet, but real quick, go your favorite Western.
Well, are we talking comedy or straight up Western?
You know, it could just be straight up Western. That's fine.
Straight up Western, I would have to say, would be High Plains Drifter.
Cool. I was afraid you were going to go like Apple Dumpling Gang.
That was a good movie. What's your problem, John? Don't disparage the Apple Dumpling Gang, okay? That's not nice.
Oh, all that stuff is on Disney. I find myself in the morning.
So, all right. So, okay, let's throw another book out there, and then I'll do another recap.
DVD. I think Seth MacFarlane's Western, I can't remember what the name of it was off the top of my head now. I think that might have been the first sort of
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yep.
Ooh. Three Amigos, I'd say, was probably the first after Blazing.
Also, City Slickers, The Legend of Curly's Gold is totally a Western.
I would agree with that, but I didn't like that movie that much. Not really.
You didn't like that? Well, that's Jack Blatt.
I didn't like it. I'm sorry. All right. So, Batman number 100, Joker War, signed by James Tynion IV. Suggested retail of $69.99. We have one available tonight for $27. Also, a silver signature. And I'll tell you, these paint pen signatures, we have a very high damage rate only because, you know, they don't dry right away. And Joel says he loved the Apple Dumpling Gang movies. Me too. You know, disparage them. That's not nice.
The Apple Dumpling Gang, rise again. It'll be on in an hour when I get home.
All right, so let's do a quick recap for those joining us a little bit later in the show. All right, and to help Kyle out, I'll try not to read too fast.
Speak slowly as you read.
Or go alphabetically.
Unfortunately, my list is not alphabetical.
Then I could just click them in order.
Probably get us all confused if I tried that at this point. But I will go in the order that the sheet is, if that helps. Probably.
Okay.
All right. So in the order of the sheet, Dynamite 10-pack reader set, as always, $5. You know, we always throw that out there as sort of a thank you. Venom, the End number 1, signed by Razak. Retail of $69.99. We have it tonight for $29.99. And that was claimed by Ron. And then we had Batman number 100, Joker War, signed by James Tynion IV. Suggested retail of $69.99. And we have one available at $27. Then we did, let's see, Deadpool versus X-Force number 4, signed by Dwayne Serwinski. Suggested retail of $29.99, and that's the price we have, the one available. Joel Blazing Saddles, that's what I said. I agree. Then we had Vampirella number 25, sold out limited edition, TMNT homage incentive variant cover, signed by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $39.99. Suggested retail, we have one available tonight at $19.84. Then we did Despicable Deadpool number 287, blank variant, signed by Deadpool co-creator Fabian Nicieza, with a color Deadpool sketch by Ken Hazer. It is a best offer item starting at $50. Then we had Darth Vader annual number 1, signed and remarked with a Darth Maul sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star at $50 books. Let's see. Then we had Batman number 50, Dynamic Forces exclusive pure pencil sketch variant, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of just under $500. We have one available tonight for $193.90. Then we had Batman number 95, first printing, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer item starting at $40. And then we had the statue of the night, Women of Dynamite, 1/6 scale Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, J. Scott Campbell statue. Suggested retail of $189.99. It is a best offer item, and currently Dwayne Zapane is in the lead at $75.
That's a great statue.
And then we did the Batman Mega Set. Suggested retail of $320. We have one available for $193.90. And the Mega Pack includes Batman number 100, signed and cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Batman number 1 DF exclusive black and white cover. Batman number 90, signed by James Tinian IV. Batman number 51, signed by Tom King. And then Batman Who Laughs number 1, CGC guaranteed 9.8. And that brings everybody up to speed. Rhinestone was Stallone singing country. Oh my God, that was awful. Made my eyes burn, that movie.
$50 is $50.
Thank you for saying so, John Spilios. Stevie B, I agree 110%. Wild Wild West was a great series. I love watching that series. The movie, horrific.
I wonder,
was horrific.
Do we know anyone that publishes comics that could see about getting the rights to a Wild Wild West comic?
You might know, buddy. I don't know anyone. Anyway. No, but it was a great series. I love watching that
series. In the chat, somebody type that in there.
But I absolutely love that series. And then when the movie came out, I was so excited about it, and it just was horrendous. It was just absolutely horrendous.
Well, like Kevin Smith, and he tells the giant spider story, and you're like,
yeah, who cares, dude? This is not official.
Lone Tomahawk is a really good movie, and I think we're forgetting The Hateful Eight.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But Lone Tomahawk is very good. I saw that on, I don't know if that was on Amazon. I don't know. One of the subscription services had it.
I loved Unforgiven. It was just very dark, and it was kind of depressing. I mean, it was an excellent movie.
One of my favorite lines in that movie, though, is very calmly Clint Eastwood. It says, "Any man that don't want to get shot probably wants to get on the back now. Get out the back now." And that reminded me of the Captain America on the elevator moment. Anybody want to get off before we get started?
I love that the Mel Gibson Maverick. I thought it did justice to the original series. It was probably significantly better because the series itself, which I actually still watch, is doesn't really play the comedy angle. Whereas the movie
it's
really
uneven. Yeah, it's very much
but it's different when you have to put out a weekly series as opposed to a 2-hour movie. Two Mules for Sister Sarah was a good movie as well. A few dollars more. All the Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns I really love, so it was never a real issue. They all kind of had the same formula.
They all still kind of hold up. They all The Man with No Name. I mean, it just works. It just
it does.
Works.
It does.
And Pale Rider. I mean, even as Eastwood,
it was okay.
Still,
I was okay with Pale Rider.
What I liked about Pale Rider was the intimation that this was like the Josie Wales character as he's old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
you weren't a preacher all the time, were you?
I kind of got the, it was a character from the spaghetti westerns that got old, as opposed to, Josie Wales. Although that would probably be definitely in my top 10. Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. That was the first time you saw Clint Eastwood not play a spaghetti western specifically, a guy with some depth, and who had a reason, to be who he was. So I really enjoyed that movie. So The Outlaw Josie Wales, definitely one of my favorites as well. Let's see. Rod, John had mentioned The Hateful Eight. That was a good one as well. I'm a huge Western fan. I think part of it I got from my mom. So All right, so Stevie B, looking through his bourbon goggles, is going to go to 80 on Sheena. Gotcha, buddy.
See, that's really a cool statue.
It is.
One of my favorite Dynamite collectibles, and of course people will be shocked because you're going to assume it's going to be Green Hornet or Mask or something, is the previous Sheena series, J. Scott Campbell's. It's the first time I saw something that Dynamite had signed in green. It was an Emerald signature series, and the cover is like a metallic foil green. And I absolutely, I love that stuff. I would love to see.
No.
What was that? I think no.
Alec is not a Western aficionado.
I do not know a single thing about Western, so I've just been taking this in the entire time. I'm reading all the comments with all these movies. I've seen maybe
a Western out there.
I've seen a handful of Westerns in my life. The last Western that I can confidently say I've said was probably Back to the Future 3, if you even consider that a Western.
Oh, boo, Alec, boo! That's not a Western. That's sci-fi, bro. Stevie B, I would consider Cowboys and Aliens kind of a horror Western, wouldn't you? Sort of.
What?
Well, Stevie B is asking, is there a horror Western out there? I would say that Cowboys and Aliens was kind of that way.
That's
a little bit.
That's more sci-fi Western. Right?
Okay.
Horror Western, I would say there's comics out there.
There was one with Wesley Snipes, I think. That was kind of a horror.
There are some Westerns, like, what's his name? Oh, God, I can't think of it now. The guy who plays Machete. He does this thing where it's like a Western zombie movie. It's like he's done 3 or 4 of them now. And I don't know. I mean, it's what I would love to see is you have American Vampire, which part of that takes place in the West. You have
where Rubenstein says Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk is a great movie. That. Go find it. Like, go on Amazon or Apple, whatever your thing is, and click and go find it. Even if you got to pay a couple bucks, it's totally worth it. It's a great movie.
Well, I'll just use the John Cole surcharge, and I'll be able to pay for at least a month. So
your statue is $80.15.
$82.
Yeah, stuff like Dark Tower. That's exactly right. There's been a few other things. I think like 30 Days of Night also did like a sort of like Western. I mean, if you've seen 30 Days of Night, it's always the same thing. Vampires.
I feel like there's one, maybe it wasn't Wesley Snipes, but I feel like there was one with a zombie element in it as well. Let me throw another book out there. Sure. So we've got Incredible Hulk number 611 signed by Greg Pak. Suggested retail of $69.99. Tonight we have it for $19.62. So Alec, I'm From Dusk Till Dawn. Was that a Western? Dusk Till Dawn wasn't really a Western.
I'm gonna sound stupid. Is that the vampire one, or is that the John Carpenter from Dusk Till Dawn?
That's the From Dusk Till Dawn was had what's her face in it from the Eternals.
I just looked it up.
Selma Hayek.
Yeah, it had Selma Hayek.
Wait, wasn't that also like
that's the
vampire movie?
Yeah, that was modern day though.
That's from '96.
Where they drove off in an RV. So it wasn't truly a Western from that perspective, but took place in a Western, like a bar, and then they stumble into the bar, and it turns out everybody's a vampire.
Now I have seen that movie. That was a great movie too.
There was a great Western horror comic that came out last year called Midnight Western Theater.
Oh, I remember that. That was from
that was fantastic.
Who did that one?
Was it Behemoth?
No, I don't think it was for some reason.
It was a real small publisher.
For some reason, I keep thinking Walter.
Robbie probably knows what it is. Robbie's a huge horror fan.
And the movie I was trying to think of is Dead in Tombstone with Danny Trejo, and they've done a few of these now. I think it's on Amazon.
It was Scout Comics.
Okay. And then somebody in the chat, I think it might have been Lefty or Stevie B, but another one, this is an oldie, I loved it because my mom loved it, was Cheyenne's Social Club with Jimmy Stewart and Henry Fonda. Oh. That was a classic.
Jimmy Stewart is in my favorite.
Yes, Gallow Walkers. Thank you, Ron. Walkers. That's the one. Yes.
Nice job, Ron. Jimmy Stewart is my favorite Western of all time.
Oh, absolutely. Which one?
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Oh, that's a classic
I
as well.
love that movie, man. I love the fact that. Wait a minute, didn't you shoot Liberty Valance? About that.
See, I'm kind of torn because the Sons of Katie Elder would probably rank up there for me as well.
That's really
because
good.
it had such a great cast, Don Wayne and Dean Martin, and even what's his name? Oh, crap.
Earl Holliman was in that one?
No, it was Sonny from Godfather, the actor. Oh, come on.
Oh, James Caan.
James Caan was in it. A young James Caan.
James Caan.
I remember his character was great because he couldn't see very well and he couldn't
Mississippi.
shoot.
So they gave him a shot.
So they gave him, well, actually, it was a lever action, I think, a 30-06, but sawed off, and he carried it in his pocket because he couldn't see nothing.
And he hit the sign over the head.
He couldn't see nothing. So they gave him a big gun and said, just kind of point to the blur and say,
where it is.
So that was a classic. That one I enjoyed as well. But
two things that came up really fast. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I
saw that.
The book
I actually
was good.
enjoyed it.
The movie was not as good, but yeah, I would say that's kind of a Western.
Yeah.
You've got the right time frame there.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And absolutely, Jeremiah Johnson is one of those things that's.
I had to watch it. It's just such a nutty idea.
Jeremiah Johnson is sort of the. Jeremiah Johnson is almost like the Jonathan Livingston Seagull of frontier movies. There's like a ton of exposition and self-reflection in there.
So Ron says his vision was great. He just couldn't shoot. That could be right. I just remember they gave him like switch out like here. Oh, that was a young James Caan, man. That was crazy seeing him young like that. I mean, he was pretty young in Rollerball, but that was young James
really
Caan.
Young.
That was the beginning of his career and stuff.
Literally. I love Rollerball.
Oh yeah, I love that. That movie was a classic. That movie was a classic. Oh, the remake was brutal. Oh my God, that was so bad.
Chris Klein.
They
could have done alcohol problems.
Oh, they could have done so much with that, and they just messed it up. Claim Hulk. What was the Hulk? Adrian, let me get it to you, buddy. Incredible Hulk number 611, signed by Greg Pak. It is $19.62, brother. So I'm going to put you down for that. You are good to go. El Diablo. It's Incredible Hulk number 611, signed by Greg Pak, buddy. Joel, Unforgiven, that's definitely on top of
This has just become a Western show now. Alex, I suggest you brush up by next week, my friend.
I wish I known it was going to take this direction.
He'll have a hat on next week.
I wanted to talk about, obviously the Batman trailer, which we kind of covered a little bit, and then I didn't know how we drift to Western. I would have tried to find more. I would have put some, Dynamite Lone Ranger books up at least.
That's what I was going to say. By Monday, we're going to see some Lone Ranger books.
But then we'll move on to something else. Yeah, that's how we
we're talking about opera on that day.
My shop.
Okay, I guarantee you that'll never happen.
My shop actually just got the Lone Ranger hardcovers in the other day, and they're really nice.
Excellent.
Some of John Cassidy's best work is the Lone Ranger.
I don't know.
That's a hill I'll die on.
So there's a question I'm going to ask our viewers, and you can throw it up on the chat for the end of the show, or feel free to email me. Just a reminder, everybody's claimed something. Remember to click on submission form, which Kyle will throw up in a minute, and fill out the submission form. Helps us keep all the paperwork straight.
Ronald, that's great advice. Start with Blazing Saddle.
Yeah,
that's great advice, man.
But if anybody is interested in seeing, trade paperbacks or hardcovers, let us know. Maybe we'll start mixing some of those.
Thank you, 62 Lefty. No, I'm watching when people are suggesting stuff, and now I'm putting it in my phone.
Blazing Saddles is a Mel Brooks, and it was a defining. I mean, it's so funny. Even if you're not a Western fan, you'll find the movie hilarious. Mel Brooks just has a way. Dwayne Zapane, can we do martial arts movies? Yes, we can.
Hey, my friend's gonna claim that Darth Vader. All
right, you got it, buddy.
I will do however you go about claiming stuff.
Oh, don't worry, you're not John. We trust you.
Nice.
I'll send you that email. We can go from there.
Yeah, I know you will, buddy. And guess what? When you send me emails, they don't go to that junk folder I had IT create for me.
Oh, and that's the other book I was trying to think of. Tim Seeley and Aaron Campbell. They did West of Sundown. That's another book a little bit more recent. That's sort of horror in the West.
Oh, look who's here. Look who's here.
Next week, the dog episodes.
Yay! Oh, the dog he loves, yeah. Look at that. Dog's like, what? What?
Look.
Now all of a sudden, look, our viewership's going to spike by like 1,000%.
Come back, Shane. Come back.
Ah, Shane.
Alan Ladd.
I totally forgot. That was my mom's favorite. That was a really long
So
movie.
apparently I misspoke earlier when I said Westerns were a niche thing because we've named about 100 movies.
Dude,
in
it's
less
not a
than an
niche thing.
hour.
It's American. It's Americana.
Yeah, it is
really
Americana.
It is unique to this country. And Shane, I totally forgot about that. It was one of the few movies shot in color in that era. It was really long if you look back at it. I mean, it was a great movie. Another one of my mom's favorites.
One of the guys I knew from college, we've been friends for decades, his name is Hideo. His father was getting transferred from Japan to the U.S., and it was like a transition. So one of the things they did was they watched as many Westerns as they could. And he talks about him and his sister were so disappointed when the plane landed in Los Angeles.
And nobody had a Stetson
And
on?
like there was nobody. It was and they landed. I think it was probably like the early 70s. He arrives, and he's just like, what? He's like devastated because he'd watched magazines, TV, like whatever show they could find. They went to a little theater to find it, and he said, "This isn't the way America is at all." They were thinking it was going to be like hats and guns and horses.
They were going to get off, and they got off the plane looking for somewhere to buy a horse.
I think 1977 is when he gets here. He's like 9 years old. He's like, "This is terrible."
All right, so 2 minutes 15 seconds on your best offers, guys. But
everybody remember there's a bit of a lag. We're approximating 20.
Yeah, I
25
mean, we don't
seconds.
have a ton of sniping here, but keep in mind there is always a little, you know what I mean, a little lag. So if there's something you want, speak now, forever hold your peace, sort of thing.
Dwayne's a pain. AR likes Westerns. He's got a little dog.
Oh, little doggy. That's nice.
Alec
Well
won't
done.
understand the reference. You do
No.
understand or no?
No.
We'll have John explain in his long-winded fashion.
So, real quick though,
Yeah.
I put the question in the comments and nobody really answered. Is Jeremiah Johnson a Western or just a frontier movie set in that time? My dad and I go round and round about this.
I see
that as a frontier movie.
I can see why people say it's a frontier movie, but I get a lot of Western vibes from that movie, which is why I watch it fairly
Interesting.
regularly. Well, somebody asked me if Hell on Wheels, it was on AMC a few years ago. Hell on Wheels is a great series. Somebody said, "Is that really a Western, though?" And I'm like, "Yes,
I would
it's a
consider
Western."
it. Yeah.
But
Ron
there
brought
are
up
many
another.
people that don't consider it a Western.
Ron, my mom would have loved your choice of movies. Fastest Gun Alive with Glenn Ford. That was another good one. And I watched all those because my mom enjoyed watching them, and then I just developed this liking. Ronald, it's a Mountain Man movie. I kind of agree with that. Yeah,
I wouldn't
don't
say it's wrong. I think it's one of those movies that's a little bit open to interpretation. But if somebody called it a frontier movie or a mountain man, I wouldn't say that's wrong at all.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
F Troop is a Western comedy.
Yeah, F Troop is Western comedy. You have your Western comedies like a Blazing Saddles, like a Three Amigos. So it's a little bit different, a little bit of a different genre. But I agree with
Support your local gunfighter.
Oh, that's
support
another
your
one.
local sheriff. Yeah.
I'm sure Alex is gonna run right after this show and start watching Westerns.
Yeah.
But Blazing Saddles is a good one to start with, only because
I heard that is
Mel
a good
Brooks,
movie though.
If you've watched Spaceballs, things like that, it's Mel Brooks kind of comedy, so it's
We're
hilarious.
done. Congratulations to the people who've won those best offers.
Yeah, so everybody who won their best offers, congratulations. Deadwood was a very good series as well.
Deadpool, and I'll tell you what, a lot of times when they revisit stuff, it's not good. But they revisited Deadwood, I think maybe 3 years ago on HBO.
Yeah, when they made the movie.
And I like that. It was
Yeah.
very, very good. I like the way that they sort of, like they're showing you that Deadwood is sort of like a point in time, right? And then when you revisit the characters, you find people they're just different. I read one of the 9 biographies that Wyatt Earp talked about, and he said one of the biggest things he had to communicate to people was Tombstone was like a period of time in his life. And when you usually go back to revisit it, it's just different. The memories change, your feelings change. You're not the same person. He did an interview with the Los Angeles newspaper, and he said, "I'm not the guy from the gunfight." That was like the headline. That he, at his age, he was well into his 70s, maybe.
Yeah, he lived a long time.
And he talked about how I wasn't the guy. I think he's 37 or 39 at the OK Corral.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
And, you know, he talks about it's like 40 years later, and people are still asking him these detailed
And one movie that was brought up in the chats, but I didn't really mention it, and I can't go my favorite, so I'll go top 10. Is obviously Young Guns. That was when that came out. That was definitely one of my top 10. Love that movie. The second, and then they make a third one. Awful, brutal.
I don't know if they made a third one.
I thought they made it. They definitely made a second one, but I thought they made a third one as well. But the first one was phenomenal. I really enjoyed that one as well. So all right. So next week, somebody wants to talk martial arts movies. So we'll probably go in that direction next week.
There's some great martial arts stuff right now. I mean, you've got the Hong Kong theater stuff from the 70s, but you've got Wu Assassins. You've got some very cool stuff. I heard
Wu Assassins got canceled.
Wu, you know what? Netflix is very close to me canceling them because
absolutely.
I find something on Netflix I like. It's good. It appeals to me. I'm happy to pay for it. And they get rid of it so they can put more Squid Game crap on that I had zero interest in. Zero.
I actually like Squid Games.
I'm sure after this show, this is going to make its way up to the to the upper echelons of Netflix, and they're going to make sure they change things around.
I'll tell you right now, when I get 2 emails on the same day, hey, we're raising the rates of Netflix to $20.
Oh yeah.
And by the way,
I think it was Monday that you were looking at your phone, going, "What's this?
What's this?" Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute. So you're canceling the shows I do watch, and you're asking me for more money? We're gonna have a party of the ways with Netflix, I think.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. Netflix is not Dynamite. You don't just get to come and express your opinion.
Oh, Ron said Wu Assassin is a new name on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Didn't they do like a movie?
Oh no,
or something?
maybe I'm thinking about something else. What was the other one?
They canceled
the
Jupiter
space
Legacy.
one, the space opera one with Mr. Sulu. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
They never gave Cowboy Bebop a chance.
Yeah,
that's
really right.
Did.
I confused that with the Wu
They were in
Assassin.
episode 3, and there were already reports in screamingrant.com about how sorry it's gone.
I thought that had some potential. I thought it had some legs on it, but yeah, what are you gonna do? You know?
Gee, maybe
my opinion is $4 will get you a cup of coffee.
Maybe I ought to discuss a Green Hornet and Kato story set in the West.
Yeah, that's not in my purview.
It's Hornet verse.
It's not within my purview.
Amy, get me the publisher. No, I'm just kidding. Can you
All
imagine?
Right. So once again, thanks to all our viewers. You know, we really appreciate you spending the evening with us. Thank you to Alec.
Next week we're gonna give Alex the whole first hour to himself.
Well, I'm gonna email Alec like what's a topic you want to go on, because obviously westerns was not his thing.
Horror movies.
I'm good on horror movies. If I watch a movie, it's typically a horror movie, to be honest.
Well, then we'll discuss it after we do the martial arts one.
Did you get did he get the book? Did he get the Darth Vader book for his friend? Or
yes, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll shoot you an email.
Yeah, whatever
About it.
As I said,
Dwayne. Thanks everybody.
You're not
for
John.
joining
We
us,
trust
as
you.
Always.
And thank you to John. Obviously, as always, thank you to Alec for spending his time with us. Thank you to Kyle for producing the show. And most of all, thank you to the viewers for spending your time. We know you have everybody in life is busy.
Nick will be back on Friday. We got a whole ton of shows.
On Friday night on The Experience. Yep, 7 to 8 Eastern time, the original art show. Even if you're not an original art collector, it's a great show to watch because lots of neat stuff.
Yeah, and it tells these great sort of
stories behind it.
Stories behind the art. Very cool.
And a lot of it coming from Nick's personal collection. And then we will be back Monday, John and I, with Rock and Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. I will be on Alec's show at 4 o'clock on his channel on Tuesdays. And then check out Pop Culture Philosophers. I'll be on with Robbie on Friday for his show. And again, thanks, everyone.
Is there anything on after us, or are we done?
I'm not sure. Kyle, is Mishmash after us? Kyle, we can't hear you.
Oh, he's muted, unfortunately.
Oh, I have my mic turned down because Comics Pro is starting any second, and I'm in that room as well.
Okay, so
but we do have Wednesday Warriors tonight at 9.
Cool. Gotcha. Okay,
cool.
So, all right. So, thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you again.